As a leader, you probably have heard the phrase, things are breaking down. You may have even used it yourself. And that potentially could be a bit of a misnomer because the rules that were established in the past for working effectively, those rules are effective. The people are still working. So what's happening? Well, the circumstances have shifted. There's been a change in the environment, so the applicability of the rules, it's corroded. Your people were fine, the rules are fine, but for a different circumstance. And what can happen is the desire to push on the situation, because you probably have done this in the past, is, okay, let's double down on the rules, let's double check, maybe we'll have some overtime, etc., and we're going to get things working again. And then you find that backfires. It's like, wait a minute, what is going on here? Well, from a systems perspective, what's happening is the circumstances have shifted. The environment is different. So now when you pour energy into a situation, energy that's misdirected, all it does is it actually amplifies the destabilization that occurs. And by the way, if you've been in this spot, don't feel alone. It's one of the things that goes with leadership. When you're leading an organization long enough, you're going to run into the shifting environments, the shifting situations, and you thought your rules were going to work, maybe in perpetuity, but they're not. So what do? Well, instead of pushing for execution, you want to listen. You want to step back. You want to pay attention to the context. So what's needed here is, instead of focusing on execution, you want to pay attention to the context. You want to pay attention to that thread that's running through your organization. It's based on history. It's based on how people have negotiated working together. It's based on your policies and procedures, etc., how you work with your clients. And so there's this thread that runs through the company that's like the backbone of how people make decisions. It's that thread that people refer to whenever there's differences, so that everyone gets on track, because that thread, consistency with that thread that runs through the company, that's been a source of strength. Your customers rely on you being consistent with that thread, that flow that runs through the company. Your vendors have trusted you and are like working with you because they know what that thread's about and how it flows through the company. So now it's time to pause. Instead of focusing on execution, focus on regenerating a common ground for all the circumstances associated with the shift so that you can develop that new thread. So instead of execution, you want to focus on sense making. Instead of focusing on answers, you want to focus on orientation. Instead of tightening the focus, you want to shift your attention to connection. And then by doing that, that connection will lead to a coherence among the people involved in terms of developing and applying your systems. And that coherence will lead to a new discipline, and that new discipline becomes your thread. Now, in order to do this, it takes a different style of leadership. And in the next video, we're going to start looking at what that different style of leadership is and how you can do it. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And by the way, this video, it's one in a series that's all about leadership under pressure and what do you do in a shifting environment.